like fresh. And for me, Mondays are a hard reset. It's just, this is how I feel. Like, I feel rejuvenated. I feel like, okay, yes, I could do this. I can do this. I seem like I have more energy in spite of, you know, how busy I was over the weekend. It's just like Monday just feels like, fresh start. So I want to come today and I want to talk to you about standing out while driving in your own lane, standing out in the drive. When I was younger, growing up, I just did not fit in, and most of you may have the same story, or some of you may have heard a similar story where, you know, as a kid, because I teach second graders, so I see this as a kid, it doesn't feel good when you don't fit in. I have students, 21 students right now, and you know, sometimes they get picked for teams, they get picked for partners, they have to work in groups, and it's always that one kid or that, you know, the two kids who just don't get picked. And it's a hard, you know, feeling, because it's like you feel like you've been rejected, and rejection is painful. Rejection is very painful. So growing up, I just didn't fit the mold. I was not the cookie cutter type. I tried my best. I tried my absolute best. I didn't look like the other girls. I was a church girl, so I was always dressed up in dresses and, you know, the itchy stockings, and I had my hair straightened, and I was just like, I stood out, as they say, like a sore thumb, and it just was uncomfortable. But now that I'm older and I'm coming into my own, you know, I don't care what they say. The older you get, the more you really start to realize who you are, at least you should, where you feel like, you know, it's all right for me not to blend in anymore. And I know I stand out like a sore thumb. I used to hate it, but now I'm okay with it. When you stand out, not just because of the way you look, but you stand out because of your goals, because of your purpose, because of your relationship with God, because of your dreams, because of your aspirations, because of your no-nonsense attitude, because you choose not to be involved with pettiness and drama, because you don't stand and hang out with a big, large group of people, or you don't fit in a certain clique. When you stand out for those reasons, not standing out just because I look like this or look like that. When I was younger, it was because I look like this or look like that. But now, you know, I still don't look like everyone else I'm around, but I stand out for a different purpose, because I know what I want now, and I know what I'm doing. I feel like I know what I'm doing. Of course, I don't know all the answers, and I'm still figuring out who I am every single day. But I purpose in my heart to be different. I purpose in my heart to stand out, to not blend in with what everyone else says is okay. Oftentimes we see people say, well, this is the way to do things, and that's the way to do things. And I question myself sometimes, like, what if the way you were taught to do things, and what if the way you've always done things was not the right way to do it, but you always thought it was the right way to do it, so that's the way you've always done it? There will be a time in your life where you will have to break the mold of what you always were taught and what you always thought was right, to do what's right for right now. And it's okay to be different, and it's okay to be in your own lane. It's okay to look different. It's okay to talk differently. It's okay to think differently. It's okay to look differently. In the time and place that we are in this world right now, there's so many, you know, people who want to be the same. They want to look the same. They want to talk the same. They want to dress the same. For example, my student said to me today, Dr. Lyles-Belton, why are you wearing a tie? I said, because I just like it. It's different. You know, and there's 7 to 8 year olds. They're like, but boys wear ties. I'm like, but I think it's cute, right? So I changed it from why do you wear a tie to let's measure my tie to see how long it is. So then we went through and we did some measurements, and then after that they thought it was so cool, like, wow, my teacher has on a tie and it's 24 inches long. So, you know, it's okay to even teach children to accept things that are different. So I want to say to you who may be watching this now or watching the replay, it's okay to be different. It's okay to stand out. I used to walk into stores and like hide my face because I'm like, I look different. Oh, I don't want people looking at me. So now I just walk in the store like I'm okay. I am who I am. So as we are on this Monday, I call it Motivation Monday because I like to hit that hard reset on Mondays. I want you to be okay with who you are. Even if you're different, and even if you don't think like everyone else, even if you don't act like everyone else, even if you have a goal that no one else has, maybe there's a reason why you have that goal, or maybe there's a reason why no one else, that's right, you are who you are, maybe there's a reason why no one else has done what you have done yet. Maybe because God was waiting for you to do it, or maybe because space and provision was made for you to do these things. So instead of asking, why is it always this way, maybe you should change your perspective and say, it's supposed to be this way And it was made this way so I can drive in my own lane. You know how it is when you're in your own lane. Things just seem to be a lot smoother, you know, instead of everyone just jumping in your lane. I don't know if you've ever been driving and you can try to get in a lane that no one else is driving in because it's not a lot of traffic. You know, so once you're over there, you feel like you can cruise, you can move along how you want to. You don't have people behind you, you know, like tailgating and flashing lights and hitting the horn and trying to make you hurry up because you're in your own lane. And sometimes it's okay to slow down, get out of that fast lane, put it in cruise control and say, you know what, I like it over here. I like it in this lane. And you know what, it's okay if I'm not in that fast lane. I'll get back in the fast lane when it's time to, but for today and for right now, I like where I am. I like the way I think. I like the way I reason. I like my personality, and I'm not perfect, nowhere near perfect. Most recently, I got this. I saw this meme on Instagram, and it says, "I'm addicted to bettering myself." I'm addicted to bettering myself. But I said, you know what? I've had many addictions in the past. Addiction to bad relationships, addiction to holding people in my life for longer than I needed to, addiction to anger, addiction to holding in pain. And now that I've been delivered from those things, I'm addicted to bettering myself. And that's one addiction that I don't mind having. I want to be the best me for God first and the best me for me second. And some people, they say, oh, that's selfish. You want to be the best you for you? Yeah, because you know what? When I become a better me for me, then I can be a better me for you. But if I can't help myself, I can't help you. And if I can't help me, I can't help this world. If I can't help me, I can't help my family. I can't help my students. I can't be who I was called to be. So I have to be addicted to working on me. So I want to say to you today, you know, maybe it's okay for you to have that addiction too. Have that addiction and say, I'm addicted to bettering myself, as long as you're not hurting anyone in the process. Work on you and get in that lane, in that slow lane. Slow down for a minute. I get it. I'm a very busy person and I stay in the fast lane when I'm driving. But every now and then, yes, I'm addicted to. Every now and then I get in that slow lane, the lane less traveled, the lane that no one else is in. And then there's some times when you have to create your own lane. Because you make a lane, and then I don't know if you make this lane, I don't know if this happened to you, then what you do, other people do. I used to get really offended and upset by that. Like, my blood, my sweat, my tears, I worked so hard, I slaved over this, I researched it. Now you're going to take my ideas and make it your own. But guess what? People copy and people take the ideas of people who are doing great things. And maybe there's something great that you're doing that people feel like, wow, if they're doing it and it's working for them, I can do it too. So maybe if we change our perspective, instead of feeling like you're just going to take my idea, instead just say, you know what, maybe they saw something that was just so great that they felt like they needed it too. And that just shows that what you did has value, it has a worth, it has some travel mileage on it, so people can say, wow, wow, wow. Because guess what? All of us get ideas from other people too. So instead of getting mad about that, let's get in our own lane and create our own lane. Now, there are some times when there are some things that we create that are just for ourselves, and we have to stand up and say, no, wait a minute. That thing I might need to put a trademark on. But other than that, for this motivation, I want to say, stand out. Be okay with that and just be different. You know, it's okay. It's okay to be who you are and not make apologies for it. I used to apologize all the time where I can't help it that I'm in dresses. I can't help it that I smile a lot. I can't help it that I have a great personality, because I didn't always have a great personality. I allowed pain to snatch my smile. I allowed being betrayed to make me angry. So a smile, no. I walked around with a mean face and I felt like I deserved to. Then one day my dad said, you're so pretty. You're too pretty to walk around looking at me. And I'm just like, you don't even understand my plight nor my struggle. But once God started to deliver me and start to chip away at that hardening around my heart, I was just angry. And he started showing me how to get delivered from that and just to let that stuff go, because I was hurting myself. The people who hurt me, they were moving on with their lives. They weren't losing any sleep at night, and I'm up all night overeating, undereating, all kinds of things. So let's work on ourselves. Let's be addicted. I'm a proud addict, addicted to bettering myself. Yes, favor is attached, and that's right. And your favor, don't make any apologies for it. And favor looks good on you. So hopefully for someone this is a blessing, and if it is, I hope that you continue to believe in this, that it's okay to be in your own lane. It's okay to stand out in your own lane. It's okay to be yourself. It's okay to be different, no matter who you are, no matter where you are. Learn to embrace your flaws, because your flaws make you unique. Although I have a doctorate degree, I know I'm not the smartest. I'm not the smartest. There's still so much for me to learn. I just was favored to be able to go to school and to get as far as I did, you know. And for so long, I felt like I was so far behind all of my other friends, and then I ended up being ahead of the game. So if you feel like, oh, I'm just so far behind, let me tell you one thing. God can hit that fast forward button just like that, and before you know it, you're ahead of the game. So don't beat yourself up if you started a little bit late. Don't beat yourself up if you didn't move as fast as your friends or your family wanted you to, or as fast as they said you should have. I trust and believe in a God who can hit that fast forward button, and before you know it, you're like, how did I get here this fast? God did it. And maybe there was a reason why he slowed you down. You're so welcome, sis. Maybe there's a reason why God slowed you down right where you were. For me, I just wanted to do things because people around me were doing it, and I wasn't mature enough yet. I wasn't mature enough yet. My mind wasn't right. My mind wasn't ready yet. I had to experience a few more things, and then once I experienced a few more things, then I was ready. Then I was ready. So God had to equip me, and he had to make me ready, because I was not ready. I thought I was ready. I wanted to do what everyone else was doing, but I was not ready for school. I wasn't ready to go to the master's program. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready to put myself in a position where I would sit down and study and do my work, and not go clubbing and not go shopping and not hang out. I wasn't ready yet. I was not ready yet. And proof that I wasn't ready yet, when I first started, I was failing my classes. I was failing. And then by the time I got my master's and my doctorate degree, I was taking 4 classes at a time, and I had to be approved for that. And I was knocking out A after A after A after A, because then I was ready. So if you have people around you who feel like, oh, well, by now you should, forget about that. Let that stuff go, because only you and God know what you're ready for. You and God knows what you're ready for. Get in your own lane and stay there and stand out. And even if you have to stand out in a I'm not ready yet position, so what? Until God makes you ready, get yourself ready. Work on you. Even for the singles, let me just jump in and talk to the people who are single. When people are looking at you like, how come you're not in a relationship yet? If you're just not ready, then say that. I'm just not ready, or don't give an answer at all. But work on you until he or she comes along. Work on you so you can be a better you. Because no matter how much they love you, if you don't love yourself, it's not going to work. No matter how accepting they are of your flaws, if you're not accepting of your flaws, it's not going to work. No matter how much they're accepting of your baggage, if you still look at your baggage as as a scarlet letter, if you look at your baggage as something that's going to always hold you back, you're not going to be ready, and it's not going to work. Work on you every single day. As I started by saying, be an addict, addicted. I am a proud addict. I'm addicted to working on myself. I'm addicted to bettering myself, because I want to be the best me I can be for everyone who's attached to me. Everything that I do, everything that I say, my attitude, my personality, it all affects and infects people. I had a man yesterday at church come up to me, and he shook my hand. He said, you know what I like about you? I love your enthusiasm. I love your enthusiasm, because when you get excited, it makes me excited. And I'm just like, really? Because sometimes I feel like I need to tone myself down, because I get really excited. Like my smile will just really stretch from one side of my face to the other. And sometimes I feel like people are looking at me. That's right, it's a season of development. And sometimes I feel like people are looking at me like she's so extra. But then I think, like, if you knew what I survived, if you knew the depression, if you knew the nights of sadness I thought I would never get out. I don't know if you've ever been so sad that you thought, oh my God, I'm scared for myself. I don't think I will ever smile again. I was there before. Like, I was scared and terrified. Like, God, I think I'm going to be stuck here forever. And then once I got out, like, when I wake up in the morning, like, everything doesn't have to be perfect, but I feel like I can do this. I can do this. So Monday's that hard reset. We hit a hard reset today to make us feel like, inhale, exhale. Let's do this. Let's do this thing together. This is the last week of April 2016. We're getting ready to go into May. We're going to go into the 5th month of the year. Look how far we've come. And you still have dreams, you still have goals, you still have calling on your life. Don't let go. Stand out, get in your own lane, get in that cruise control if you have to, and when you have to dip and dive and weave in and out of traffic to get in that fast lane. I love me too, Annalisa. Whatever you have to do, stand out. Be yourself. When you walk